Hey, this is Paul Jang, and today we're going to be talking about land investing as a small business. 7 warnings for beginners before you jump into this business. So warning number 1, investing in land takes time to build up. You might find people saying otherwise, but it's just not true. It takes time to learn the business. It takes time to get a deal, to market it, sell the property. In this process of closing a property, especially whenever you use a title company attorney, it could take a while. Land is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It'll take months and years to build up into something sizable. The benefit, though, is it's just much quicker and easier to do than other real estate investing strategies that you might find. And it's a lot less riskier than some of the other business models where you might buy advertising or different commodities or different physical products. You might have bought too much and you can't sell it, or you might have done advertising and you got nothing for it, right? So it's not like that. Whenever you're purchasing land, you're buying it, at least if you're buying it the way that most land investors are doing, you're buying it on steep discount. So you're buying an asset that you're going to be able to offload for profit in the future. Warning number 2, it does require capital, and I mentioned the time part, but it does require capital. Some of the major capital expenses that you'll find is mailing, marketing, and the land itself. And you're either going to be trading your time or your money here. Mailing is 50 cents a mailer, so you can send out bulk. It's not that expensive when you consider like how many deals you can get through a mailer. But even that, finding deals, you could just go to a tax auction and pick a property that way. Marketing, I spend a little bit more on marketing, but there's Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace that you could post in, and people do really well with that. There's some land investors that only do that and have done really well. If you go on YouTube as well, you'll also find people posting their land on YouTube, and they're not really doing that to make a sale right then and there, but ultimately to maybe sell them something, a YouTube viewer sometime in the future. So there's a lot of free marketing you can do, kind of like that instant, like Craigslist, Facebook, but more of a long-term gain with YouTube or some of the other platforms available to you if you want to get into land. And a quick way to get around some of these expenses are just to work with other land investors. The part about the land itself being a capital expense, technically you don't have to put up your own money to buy land. If you find a good deal, land investors will come together with you to kind of partner with you, walk you through the step, but also they could profit, whereas you found the deal, they could bring in funds. So it does require capital and time, but there's a lot of things you can do to accelerate this or to get around it if time is an issue or if capital is an issue, or if money is an issue. Warning number 3, make sure they are the owner. So this is a warning for beginners. Some people will try selling the land and they don't own it. Some people are just straight up fraudulent. But on the other hand, there just might be a misunderstanding on how inheritance might work. So usually what happens is, it usually happens when someone passes away and they had a will or something of that sort, or didn't have a will, but they're the only surviving family member. And they believe that just because that's the case, that they get real estate ownership to whatever property that usually mom and dad owned. And it's not the case. Even if you have a will, they need to go through probate with a lawyer, and that's costly. There's affidavits or different things to kind of get around this, or they could have put it in a trust if mom and dad set their stuff up right. In general, if their name is not on the deed, they don't own it and they can't sell it to you. So if you're not checking that they are the owner, right, that purchased the land and it's under their name, you don't have a deal. It's really important that you understand that they could be paying the taxes on the property and not own the property. Okay, so you just need to keep an eye on that. Warning number 4, make sure you check the back taxes. So I just mentioned the taxes that you could not own the property but pay the taxes on a property. There are people that don't pay property taxes, and every month, for the most part, you know, some counties don't do it every month, but a lot of counties every month put out a tax auction depending on the state. It might be a tax deed state or tax lien state or a redeemable state that kind of takes in both aspects of tax deed and tax lien states. But the ultimate point is, if they don't pay their property taxes, the county is gonna work with investors to basically sell the property to them or sell the lien so that they could foreclose on it, the investor. And you just need to make sure that if there are back taxes on it, that you're just aware of it whenever you purchase it, because those back taxes will come with the property. So just make sure you price those your properties right, and just make sure that the property doesn't go for auction, you know, by the time you purchase the property. A quick way to find out if they have any back taxes is to just call the county. Usually the tax assessor's office will know if there are back taxes to it. You just keep it moving, right? Warning number 5, is there access to the property? If you get an APN and get the location of a property, you could use different software. I like to use Agent Pro 247. There's LandGrid, ParcelFact. These are different software basically to help you understand where the property is located. Now, it's using GIS, systems and coordinates to kind of give you the point, but you want to know if it's landlocked or if you're able to access the property. And you can also hire a landsman. Just Google landman, and they can go out to the property and get information about access if you need that additional step, if you need someone to actually go to the property. You don't have to go out and see property yourself with this business. There's like so many inexpensive ways to do it and be profitable. So warning number 6, just be careful with how much you are buying the property for. Just double check your prices with the other property available for sale. And if you are able to get data on actual sold property, that will help you. With land, it's pretty limited, so you're kind of looking at what's sold and what is for sale to kind of come up with your prices. And see a couple things that you might have to consider when figuring out your prices is if there is access, it might change the price, as well as if there are any back taxes. You might need to reconsider the offer or renegotiate with the person you're buying it from. Warning number 7, are you buying up every deal? When I was first starting as a beginner, I picked up everything. You just have to be able to know when to say no. Usually you'll find that you're either running out of capital. I mean, that's usually the reason why you'll have to start saying no. So just be aware of how much capital you have at all times, and consider different ways to get funding if that's lines of credit or getting loans, or working with other land investors or private investors or family and friends to kind of jump in whenever you're low on capital. You just don't want to be in a situation where you're holding a property that you bought on discount, but it takes a lot longer to sell, so you can't roll over that money into new deals or for more profit. So those are the 7 different ways, just warnings to consider as a beginner. I do highly recommend land investing as a small business. It's less competitive than a bunch of other real estate investing options. It's pretty niche, and there's just more land than houses. Low maintenance, you can get quick cash and owner financing for terms. I just think overall it's a solid deal. So that's it for land investing. Subscribe and like this video if you like building multiple streams of income. If you subscribe and like, it'll help us out with the YouTube algorithm, so I'd appreciate it. And in the comment section below, put any questions you have and any ideas for future videos that you might want to see. All right, take care. Have a good one.